Am I the only one who thinks physical media sucks ass? I'm being serious. Anytime you want to play a game, you have to go all the way over to your bulky shelf that takes up way too much room, pull out a chunky piece of plastic, open it if it's a disc game, and then waddle all the way back over to your console to insert it, turn on the machine, and then play only that game. If you want to switch games, you have to repeat the process all over again. Plus, if you want to play a game published by a different company or during a different time period, there are additional steps added. You have to yank the cables for your current console out of the TV and plug new ones in. On modern TVs, this is a major pain in the ass, especially for someone without a lot of time. That's why digital media is far superior. You can literally just boot up your machine and click a UI button to start up the game. No blowing on cartridges or cleaning discs. You can play games from 1993 and previous to 2010 and onwards without physically reconfiguring anything. The benefits of digital are staggering. This is why our gaming future is devoid of physical media, and I won't look back. And that's not even the full digital picture. Not only has our gaming convenience been expanded, but also our access. You can play vast libraries of beloved masterpieces for next to no cost. Or no cost if you know what you're doing. And if you know what you're doing, you can play them DRM free. We are truly spoiled for choice with games. You could be playing so damn many critically acclaimed titles, like Half-Life 2, Portal 1 and 2, and Left 4 Dead. The Elder Scrolls games, like Skyrim, Oblivion, and Morrowind. The Monster Hunter games, all the way up to World and Wilds. The Yakuza games, Like a Dragon and Yakuza 0. Persona 3, Persona 4, or Persona 5. Before that, the Shin Megami Tensei games, Nier Automata, Claire Obscura Expedition 33, the Resident Evil 2, 3, and 4 remakes, Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 8, No Man's Sky, Cyberpunk 2077, The Witcher series, the Tomb Raider series, Gears of War, the Far Cry games, the Just Cause games, the Saints Row games, Borderlands, the Hitman games, The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, A Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask and Wind Waker, Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword, Super Mario Sunshine, Galaxy 1 and 2, World All-Stars 64, 3D World and Odyssey, the Mario RPGs, the Paper Mario games, the Batman Arkham games, the Rockstar games like Bully Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2, LA Noire, and of course, Grand Theft Auto games, the GTA 3, 4, and 5, Vice City, San Andreas, and even Chinatown Wars, the Talos Principle, Scorn, Visage, the Amnesia games, Slender, the 8 Pages, Slender the Arrival, Minecraft even. I've done thousands of hours into Minecraft alone. The Metal Gear games, the Guilty Gear games, and that's not even mentioning most of the beloved indie titles. Hollow Knight, Last of Us, Axiom Verge, Overcooked, A Hat in Time, Lisa 1 and 2, Delta Green, Undertale, Ultra Kill, Super Meat Boy, Fast, The Witness, Pony FX, Ruby Looking back on that small shelf full of games I had growing up, I didn't realize how precious each title was to me. If you've spent much time in gaming circles online, you'll have heard people talking about their overwhelming backlogs. Your backlog is a list of all the games you've acquired but haven't yet played. I believe it's become more popular to discuss backlogs after so many people jumped on Steam sales during the coronavirus lockdowns. Only now are those people looking back and realizing they have more games than they know what to do with. A gaming backlog often comes with an air of shame, as if, by creating it, you've made a grave mistake. You may even feel some sense of duty towards it, as if you should be playing as much of it as you can to justify your purchasing patterns. People who try this often find themselves burning out as their carefree hobby is suddenly turned into a soul-draining pile of tasks to track and complete. Trust me, you don't want to go down that road. But even still, the question remains how you should feel and act towards your backlog. I think most of us didn't notice that the shift from physical to digital fundamentally altered the nature of your gaming library. Your library used to be a group of games you grew intimately familiar with over years of replays, but now those games are mixed in with a personal catalog of titles you thought you might try one day. Games you wanted but didn't want to play just yet. The question is, what's that doing for you? Why should you purchase a game knowing you probably won't be playing it? Why download and scrape a ROM you don't plan on booting up? What are you literally getting by behaving this way? One word: access. Perhaps you gain peace of mind knowing this game is at your fingertips. You can potentially play it, whether or not you ever actually do. You gain a sense of comfort, growth, and progress whenever you reach that checkout page, or watch that increasing download bar. That game you've heard so much about, you have it now. Your collection is that much more complete. Your collection. You're a collector. Game collectors are an interesting bunch. When you think of them, you primarily imagine a person with shelves upon shelves of plastic cases, cartridges, and boxes surrounding them. If you ask them whether they feel bad having not played most of their games, they might tell you they don't collect games just to play them. You see, collecting games can be a completely separate endeavor to playing games, and this distinction is often clarified for newcomers to the scene.
The instant you start talking to me about graphics, performance, accessibility, or anything else that has to do with the playability of a game, you have stopped talking about the collectability. You aren't talking about a video game collecting topic anymore, you're talking about a video game playing topic. Please play your games, I don't care, but when you purchase a $22 remaster of a 20-year-old game because you really want to play it, you are not collecting that specific item. You are purchasing an item for its original intent. So answer this for yourself. Do you purchase games that you never intend to play? Do you have games on your shelf that you literally only purchase because you know it's a rare or cool piece for your collection? The thing about this is you don't have to be one or the other with every game in your collection, and this is especially true for your modern stuff that you're picking up every month. You purchased that Mario Odyssey in 2017 because you wanted to play it straight up, but you might have also picked up a copy of Superman 64 that year with absolutely no intention of ever playing it.
But maybe you never intended to be a collector. Or maybe you'd like to stop, but still find yourself compelled to purchase or download certain critically acclaimed titles. Like you just can't help yourself. What's going on there? At the moment of acquisition, what's happening? Oftentimes, what motivates our gaming purchases is what's been called the fear of missing out, or FOMO. There's usually a perceived limited time opportunity being presented to you. Whether it be a Steam sale, a rare find in a bargain bin, or even the simple knowledge that ROM availability is under attack by major corporations like Nintendo. However, this sort of urgency is only effective as a catalyst to your acquisition. It doesn't create the initial interest. I'd bet that most of us wouldn't be tripping over ourselves to snag some tickets to the Marvels just because the opportunity is going away. No, there's another layer to this which is the core of FOMO, and the subsequent cause of the backlog issue. It's a mindset which seems to have pervaded gaming culture since the rise of social media. Have you ever felt compelled to purchase a game simply because you heard good things about it, or because you know it has a loyal fan base, or even because you've heard its name enough times that you feel it must be worth a look? If so, you've employed what objectivist philosophers call a second-handed mindset, otherwise known as groupthink.
Second-handedness is the identification that Ayn Rand made that some people live secondhand. They live through others. They substitute others' judgment, values, ideas, attitudes for forming their own. So it's not independent agreement with others on something. It's conformity. It's non-thinking. It's selfless.
It is indeed selfless. To use other people's gaming opinions as replacements for your own, making decisions as if you were them, is to erase your own individuality. No longer are you the individual gamer being convinced of a value proposition, but a member of the gaming community doing your duty to expand your media palette. Wait, you own a PC and you haven't played Skyrim? You have a Switch in 2025 and you haven't touched Breath of the Wild? You call yourself a gamer and you haven't heard the good news of our Lord and Savior Elden Ring? You're constantly bombarded with memes and clips of video games you haven't played, and if you're being second-handed, you may end up buying those games just so you can feel like you're part of the in crowd, the people who like the good games. This isn't to say that gambling on unknown games can't pay off, or that you shouldn't take people's recommendations into consideration. I bought the Talos Principle based on recommendation of someone else. It sat dormant in my library for a long time before one day I started it, got into it, and it turned out to be one of the best games I've ever played. My purchase of the Talos Principle, based on others' recommendation, was a gamble, but it luckily paid off. It worked out that time, but in general, by removing thought from your purchasing decisions, you're not setting yourself up for success. You should realize that the community aggregate of opinions isn't always an accurate measure of a game's quality, nor its value to you as an individual. For instance, Scorn was a game for which I felt reverse FOMO. I saw people hating on it for being too vague, slow, and puzzle-focused, for being too much of a walking simulator. However, I was highly interested in its art style and presentation, and despite community backlash, I got the game and it became another one of my all-time favorites. I ignored the community's scorn for Scorn and made a purchasing decision based on my own tastes, and it paid off. The thing to keep in mind is, you should think about why you're acquiring a game. The next time you get curious about a title, or someone tries getting you to play it, you should simply pause for a moment before pulling the trigger and ask yourself, do I want to play Claire Oscura Expedition 33 because I've evaluated it based on its merits and decided I'm interested? Or just because discourse has told me that's the certified correct game to buy right now? Am I inclined towards this purchase due to agreement with popular opinions, or conformity to popular opinions? Employing this strategy will transform you from a game collector to a game connoisseur. You'll develop a particular taste for the medium which expresses your personality. You may notice yourself slowing down on new additions to your library and turning to replays to refresh your tastes and experiences. You'll almost naturally start to form a virtual shelf of favorite titles which you can guarantee you'll enjoy on replay. And only recently did I learn the importance of continued engagement with this virtual shelf. Exposure to constant new gives you a wide range of experiences, but experiences that are only an inch deep. In order to get the most out of the art you enjoy, you need to return to it periodically. This is because the nature and function of art, as discovered by objectivist philosopher Ayn Rand, is to guide man's cognition via embodied philosophy. Art is about presenting its themes to you in tangible characters, events, and world building. Even the most mundane art presents a philosophical outlook through concrete embodiments. It's the concreteness of art that gives it its potency, and as a result, makes replays fruitful. You can recount the events of Ocarina of Time in plain speech, but the true value of Ocarina of Time is the full experience. It's the world created before you that you can mentally step into. The events that are happening here and now, not simply synopsized. As time passes, your memory of the concrete details of the game fades, and you're left with a vague recollection of it. This means that even if you know what happens, the art can fulfill its purpose for you. It doesn't become useless after the first playthrough. On top of that, your new playthroughs may reveal new discoveries, new outlooks, or new insights about the game, its development, its release context, or your life. As you mature, your returns to your favorite art may deepen your appreciation for it. A good example of this phenomenon is Pixar movies. As a kid, you contextualize the events of the movies in a completely different way than as an adult. The themes are mature, thought-provoking, and powerful, but presented in a way that is accessible to children and adults. This ability to gain new insights about old concepts, further relating them to your other knowledge, is known to objectivists as the ability to integrate. And it goes for everything you can learn about, not just art. The overall perspective on knowledge entailed by integration is the spiral theory of knowledge. This is the idea that you're never fully finished with a concept, but you could always add to it and learn more about it by returning to it or anything related to it. To explain it visually, Knowledge tends to spiral upwards rather than stay in a fixed circle or web. As an example of a new artistic integration, I noticed just how heavily I've been influenced by the futurism of the 2000s. Space-age rockets, anti-gravity, neon lights, sleek, round, bright surfaces, and a design language that plays with 3D space in both visual and auditory media. We're talking glossy, reflective graphics and music drenched in reverb. The style's individuality and optimism towards technology is an attitude I share to this day. I even tried to give similar vibes to my Steam Deck, with reflective tiles, a 3D tilt, and some awesome ambient music. Beyond that, I've unintentionally employed the style in the video game I'm developing, My Chandroid Sweetheart. So, how should you think of your backlog? Well, you should recognize it for nothing more or less than what it is: potential. There are infinite potential actions you can take at any given moment, but that doesn't mean you should take them. You should take the action that advances your life the most at any given moment. And if you happen to feel up to exploring your backlog, then you should. But if you find yourself feeling empty towards your collection, even those titles you acquired knowing you'd want to play them, perhaps it's time to return to your shelf. Perhaps it's time to employ the art of the replay.